Okay, go ahead.
To the group. Two things that I hear about. I'm a pastor. I work on the homelessness, all in Tacoma from Gallup to whoever. And I hear in the tide floods that the Native Americans are mad about the red line thing that they want to build. I don't know. I have a clue about it, but that's the question. But my question is, we saw this mental guy that went to the moon and never came back.
Yeah.
Mental health issues. I'm dealing with it all the time in Tacoma with the prostitution fight and sex trafficking. And Seattle, Tacoma, they're trying, God bless their big hearts, but it's just the biggest cluster mess ever. Yeah. You know, and getting tired of burying it. It's getting cold. So there it is. Homelessness, mental, and that red line thing, whatever it is.
Okay. Well, why don't Sarah go first?
Sure, I'm happy to. This is all stuff I love talking about. So, so Robert kind of touched on it a little bit earlier when he said we're presented a lot of these issues like they're independent from each other. Like mental health is independent as an issue to deal with from homelessness, or homelessness is independent of healthcare even. Healthcare is independent of education. That's what we're constantly sold, and that's just not true. These are all rooms in a house, and in order to have a fully functional house, you can't just remove the living room and then expect everything else to work. That's not how a house functions. You have to have every room to make it work. So I think with a lot of these issues that you're talking about, they affect homelessness to an enormous degree. You see people who are filing for medical bankruptcy, which is actually the #1 cause of bankruptcy in America. They're losing their homes. They're forced into homelessness. And if you're forced into homelessness because of medical bills, you're not going to be able to just turn around and not live on the streets and find somewhere else to go. You're on the streets. That's how it is now. You have young people who are struggling under crushing student debt, who can't live with their parents, who are in and out of shelters, who are suffering from homelessness. You have people, veterans with extreme PTSD who aren't getting treatment and who aren't being treated properly because they don't have access to things that might work for them better. For instance, marijuana might work for them a little better than medication. And they're out on the streets too, because they can't function enough to hold a job or anything like that. So it's all connected. Every single one of these things needs to be worked on together. And I think if we focus on not just dealing with homelessness, because that's just dealing with a symptom of a much larger problem, we have to go back to the root of these issues. We have to implement things like single-payer universal health care, not access, not placating terms. We have to have access to real health care. Access to debt-free education is going to alleviate what students are spending out. It's going to give young people the ability to go and buy a house at a reasonable age. We need to focus on improving our mental health system so much. I'm really glad you brought it up, because our mental health system, we can't talk about all these things and then turn to mental health when we have a shooter on the loose and be like, oh, now mental health is a problem. It's not just a problem when shootings happen. For people who are suffering from depression, from bipolar disorder, from schizophrenia, this is all day, every day. This isn't just one day when it makes the news. This is a constant struggle for people. The ability to talk openly about things. I actually struggle with depression as well. So I actually have been to a therapist and talked to somebody. And one of the things that we need to start doing is removing the stigma that it's a personal moral failure to struggle with mental illness. It's not. We really need to readdress the conversation completely. People need to be far more open about their journeys with it. It was a hard journey for me to get through that, but I did, and I'm here, and it's because of access to mental health care that I was able to get here. And everyone needs access to that kind of thing. The other thing I'm really glad you talked about, because this is a very exciting, I love talking about this topic, the sex trade. So I am a firm believer in decriminalizing sex work. I am absolutely so excited about decriminalizing sex work. I always want to talk about it because you can't, I know, it's weird that someone gets excited to talk about this. I'm sure in front of the house. But so one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this, I'm so excited about this, is because you cannot have the conversation about ending human trafficking and have that be completely separate from legalizing sex work.
True.
It's just not possible.
True.
And once you make it all legal, your victimless crimes is the biggest thing. And sex trade has some of the biggest amount of victimless crimes. People going to jail, women are being in prison because they're doing the only thing they're able to do with their lives right now. And then they go to prison, they get out. It's not like it makes their life better. Now they have a felony on their record. Now they still can't get other work. But if we legalize it, we can regulate it. People can willingly go into it as a career. Women can protect their health. Yes, they can unionize. Women don't have to worry about domestic abuse problems. We eliminate the issues with pimps. It directly impacts the drug industry as well.
They have proper banking.
Yes, they have proper banking opportunities. So things like that, because a lot of these women they struggle with homelessness and drug addiction and disabilities as well. And this legalization of it will cause such an astronomical boom for women and for people and for young men and everything. And it's gonna have an actual positive, profound impact on the criminal justice system. Things like this need to be brought to the table. People are still uncomfortable having that conversation. I obviously have no problem with that conversation, but we need to be talking about these things.
Well, I'm seeing more people on the street in their cars that make money, but they can't afford rent.
Oh, yes.
You know, and then they live in like TCC or I know a lot of people live in the woods and on the tide flats.
Yeah.
You know the story. Anyway, it's like, and they go, Pastor, what the frick can you do? I go, what can you do? Pray for me. God bless you. Talk to you. And I hate doing that. God will got your back. You know.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
And it's that feeling of helplessness that I think hits us all the hardest. And I think it's that feeling of I want to do more. And that's one of the reasons why I believe we're all running is because we believe we can do more and we want to do more and we should. Because we can do something good for people. So we have a moral obligation to do that good thing for more people. And that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about running to do is believing in the morality of all these fights we're fighting. They're not just a fiscal problem. They're not just, numbers on a spreadsheet problem. These are moral issues at stake that we're dealing with.
Well, I don't want to get into I didn't come here to talk about me. It's like you got Seattle and you got Tacoma, and you got Seattle coming to Tacoma, you got Tacoma going to Seattle, and you got Seattle kicking out them, and then Tacoma's kicking out them, and you know the story.
Yeah, the constant moving around, and it's not a feasible model.
So what's this pipe thing, this red line thing that they're doing on Tide?
So I actually had a great amount of opportunity to talk a little bit about the red line issue. So I know there's the liquid natural gas, but everyone just calls it the LNG pipeline. It's liquid natural gas. What it is it's a company that's fracking, that's trying to transport the liquid form of methane gas.
Is that a good thing?
No. So fracking, fracking is terrible. So what fracking does is it basically uses high pressurized water to break the rocks under the surface without drilling all the way through like those big open pit mines. It lets them put a device in that will use high pressure water, crack the rocks. It creates really instability. It creates instability in the foundation.
I'll Google that like my son says.
Yeah.
I watched a fun animated video on it, so I'm not actually texting. I watched an educational YouTube video about it. That's how I know about it. So.
It's actually a bit more egregious. It's not just water they use, but mainly chemicals such as formaldehyde
Yes.
that they're shooting deep into the crust.
Yeah.